What is the code required spacing between the ceiling and the cable tray, as well as the spacing between cable trays? Can a cable tray be used to support boxes and conduit bodies? Hello everyone. In our video we will discuss the rules of the code for the installation of cable trays for medium and low voltage systems as specified in section 392.18. Without further ado, let's proceed with our topics. Section 392.18, Cable Tray Installations. In paragraph A, complete system. Cable trays must be installed as a unified system. Any field bends or modifications should ensure that the electrical continuity of the cable tray system and the support for the cables is preserved. It is acceptable for cable tray systems to include mechanically discontinuous segments between cable tray runs or between cable tray runs and equipment. As noted in this section, cable trays must be installed to maintain their integrity as a continuous system. This requires that all components, trays, fittings, and supports work together seamlessly to provide reliable support for the cables they hold. When making field bends or modifications to the cable tray system, it is vital to ensure that these changes do not disrupt the electrical continuity of the system. Maintaining electrical continuity is crucial for proper grounding and minimizing the risk of electrical faults. Any modifications should be carefully planned to avoid creating weak points or interruptions within the system. To maintain the integrity of field bends and modifications, it is important to ensure that all connections between tray sections are tight and secure. Use bolts or screws to fasten joints, minimizing gaps, and employ a grounding braid or strap to connect different segments of the tray to preserve electrical continuity. Additionally, ensure that no insulating materials are placed between tray sections, as these could disrupt electrical continuity. Moreover, this section permits cable tray systems to include segments that are mechanically discontinuous, meaning there may be gaps or breaks in the physical structure when transitioning between different runs of cable trays or when connecting to equipment. For example, photos might illustrate discontinuities between segments of cable trays and between cable trays and equipment. Cable trays should be designed to accommodate movement between runs or between trays and equipment. For instance, in a generator setup, if the cable tray connects directly to the generator, the vibrations generated during operation can lead to damage or loosened connections. Therefore, it is crucial to incorporate flexible supports or raceways to manage these movements and minimize avoidable discontinuities in the cable trays. Despite these mechanical discontinuities, the overall system must continue to operate safely and effectively by ensuring that electrical continuity is preserved. Section 392.18, B. Completed before installation. Each run of cable tray shall be completed before the installation of cables. This section specifies that each run of cable tray must be fully installed before any cables are placed within it as shown in the photos. This requirement is critical for several reasons. Ensuring that the cable tray is completely installed means that all necessary supports, fittings, and connections are in place before any cables are introduced. This promotes a stable and secure environment for the cables. Completing the cable tray installation prior to adding cables helps prevent various issues that could arise later. For example, if cables are installed before the tray is complete, they may be subjected to unintended stress, abrasion, or other forms of damage during the installation process. Incomplete trays may lead to misrouting of cables, which can complicate future maintenance and increase the risk of operational issues. Installation of cable tray first allows for an organized and structured approach to cable routing, reducing the likelihood of cable damage and ensuring a neat installation, promoting proper airflow around the cables, enhancing heat dissipation, and preventing overheating. With the cable trays in place, future inspections and maintenance tasks become more straightforward and less disruptive, as cables are easily accessible. Section 392.18c, Covers. In portions of runs where additional protection is required, covers or enclosures providing the required protection shall be of a material that is compatible with the cable tray. Covers are essential in protecting the cables within the tray from various external factors, such as environmental conditions, physical damage, and unwanted interference. In certain situations, additional protection is needed to ensure the safety and integrity of the electrical system. The covers or enclosures used must be made from materials that are compatible with the cable tray. This compatibility is crucial to ensure that the covers do not adversely affect the performance of the tray or the cables it contains. Section 392.18d, Through partitions and walls. Cable trays are allowed to extend horizontally through partitions and walls or vertically through platforms and floors in both wet and dry locations, provided that the installations, including the installed cables, comply with the requirements outlined in Section 300.21. This section allows cable trays to extend horizontally through partitions and walls or vertically through platforms and floors in both wet and dry locations. However, these installations must adhere to the requirements specified in Section 300.21 to ensure safety and compliance. Section 300.21 emphasizes that electrical installations must be designed to prevent the significant spread of fire or combustion products within hollow spaces, vertical shafts, and ventilation or air handling ducts. This is vital to protect both the structural integrity of the building and the safety of its occupants. One of the key elements of this section is the need for fire stopping around electrical penetrations. When electrical cables or trays pass through fire-resistant rated walls, partitions, floors, or ceilings, openings around these penetrations must be sealed using approved fire-stopping methods. This ensures that the fire resistance rating of these barriers is maintained, effectively preventing the passage of fire and smoke between different areas of the building. Section 392.18, Exposed and Accessible. Cable trays must be exposed and accessible, except where permitted by 392.18d. This section specifies that cable trays must be both exposed and easily accessible in most circumstances, with certain exceptions outlined in 392.18d. The code defines exposed as applied to wiring methods, on or attached to the surface or behind panels designed to allow access, while accessible as applied to wiring methods, as being capable of being removed or exposed without causing damage to the building's structure or finish, and not being permanently enclosed by the building's construction. This means that the cable trays can be accessed without damaging the building's structure or being permanently enclosed. The illustration depicts a cable tray installed above a fixed ceiling, rendering it inaccessible and violating the regulations. In contrast, if the ceiling has removable panels, the cable tray would be accessible and exposed. Section 392.18, F. Adequate access. Sufficient space must be provided and maintained around cable trays to allow for proper access during the installation and maintenance of cables. This section emphasizes the importance of providing sufficient space around cable trays to ensure effective access for both the installation and maintenance of cables. Cable tray wiring systems should be designed and installed with adequate room around the trays. This space is essential for accommodating the setup of cable pulling equipment, which is crucial during installation. Ample space around the cable tray not only aids in the initial installation but also simplifies the process of adding new cables or removing surplus ones. This flexibility is vital for maintaining an organized and efficient cabling system. When cable trays are installed one above the other, it is advisable to maintain a clearance of 300 mm to 450 mm between the underside of one tray and the top of the adjacent tray, or between the ceiling and the top of the cable tray. This spacing enhances both airflow and accessibility, allowing technicians to work comfortably without obstructions. However, the code does not specify an exact clearance value. It is up to the engineer to determine whether a lesser or greater clearance is necessary based on the specific installation requirements. Section 392.18, G. Raceways, cables, boxes, and conduit bodies supported from cable tray systems. In industrial facilities where maintenance and supervision conditions ensure that only qualified personnel service the installation, and where cable tray systems are designed and installed to support the required load, these systems may support raceways, cables, and boxes, as well as conduit bodies as specified in Section 314.1. This section outlines the conditions under which conduit, cable termination supports, and outlet boxes can be supported by cable tray systems, particularly distinguishing between industrial and commercial installations. Support in industrial facilities. In qualifying industrial facilities, conduit and cable termination supports, as well as outlet boxes, are permitted to be supported solely by the cable tray. This flexibility allows for a streamlined installation process, as these components can rely on the cable tray for support without the need for additional structural elements. Restrictions in commercial installations. In contrast, these items are not permitted to be supported solely by the cable tray in commercial installations. This distinction emphasizes the need for additional support in commercial settings, where the conditions may differ significantly from industrial environments. For raceways terminating at the tray, a listed cable tray clamp or adapter must be used to securely attach the raceway to the cable tray system. Additional support and securing of the raceway must comply with the requirements outlined in the relevant raceway article. For raceways or cables running parallel to and affixed to the bottom or side of a cable tray system, the fastening and supporting must adhere to the requirements of the appropriate raceway or cable article. When boxes and conduit bodies are attached to the bottom or side of a cable tray system, their fastening and supporting must follow the guidelines specified in Section 314.23. Section 392.18, H. Marking. Cable trays that contain conductors rated over 600 volts must display a permanent, legible warning notice stating, "Danger! High voltage, keep away." This warning should be placed in a conspicuous location on all cable trays, with notices spaced no more than 3 meters, 10 feet, apart. The danger markings or labels must conform to the requirements outlined in Section 110.21b. The requirement for visible warning notices is crucial for ensuring safety around high-voltage areas. By spacing notices no more than 3 meters apart, it helps maintain awareness of the hazards associated with high-voltage conductors. Section 110.21b outlines that the markings must use clear and effective words, colors, symbols, or combinations thereof to warn individuals of potential hazards. Labels must be permanently attached to the equipment or wiring method and should not be handwritten. Exception. In industrial settings where maintenance and supervision conditions ensure that only qualified personnel service the installation, warning notices for cable tray systems may be positioned as necessary to facilitate safe maintenance and operation, even if they are not easily accessible. This exception acknowledges the unique conditions of industrial settings where qualified personnel manage installations. It allows for the strategic placement of warning notices to enhance safety and facilitate effective maintenance, even if those notices are not easily accessible. This approach balances the need for safety awareness with the practicalities of industrial operations. Thank you all for watching.